All right, so for this problem, I am just going to be focused on problem number 2, which is very similar to what you're going to see in your Khan Academy challenge problem. So in this problem, we're given the radius, which means we can find the circumference. I just have to do 2 pi r to find the circumference. I remember that by twinkle, twinkle, little star, circumference equals 2 pi r. So if you ever, forget it. So now all I have to do is take the radius, which is 8, and multiply it by 2, because we're going to write this answer in terms of pi, because we want everything to be exact. You do not want to round anywhere in this. You want to put everything in the calculator. Just let the calculator do the work. We're looking for the measurement from A to D. So I'm going to put an X right here. Anytime you're looking for a piece of the circle, that means that piece represents the arc length. This is the formula I'm using this time. I'm switching it up in case you didn't like the last formula. This is another way to get it. All right, so arc length is X because that's the piece that I don't know here. And then circumference we just found was 16 pi, and we leave it in terms of pi so it can be exact. Now on the other side I need theta, and theta is the central angle. Well, the angle that I need to find the measurement of arc AD is this angle. Well, they didn't give me that, so that means I have to go back to what we did on our last test and use 360, subtract out 200. So 360 minus 200 will leave me with 160. But then notice that these two angles right next to each other have the same markings. So that means they're equal. So if I divide this by 2, then I get the central angle measurement for both of these angles. And remember, central angles are equal to their arc. So that means this will be 80, this will be 80. Now, that's not the measurement of the arc. Well, it is, but it's the measurement in degrees. The arc length is the length of this piece of the circle, just like we have the length of the circumference, kind of like perimeter. That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to use 80 for my central angle, and then I'll put 360 at the bottom. So this is what we're looking for. We can cross multiply to get this answer. So I'll cross multiply 360 times x, which will give me 360x. And then I'll cross multiply the other way. So 16 times 80. Remember, we're using all numbers. Pi just goes in the final answer. So that's 1280 and then pi. I know it looks weird, but pi is a number, so we don't have variables on both sides. And then we're ready to solve, because remember, x is what we're solving for. I just divide by 360 to get this by itself. So once I simplify this fraction over here, then I have my answer. So I'm doing fraction. So 1280 divided by 360 gives me 3.5556. And when we write in terms of pi, you cannot have decimals. So we want it in fraction. So I hit the math button, which is right underneath your alpha button. And then I press enter 2 times. And there is my fraction. So the arc length is 32 over 9 pi. That's in terms of pi. And then if we don't want pi, then we just multiply it. So I'm just taking my answer, which was 32 over 9, multiplied by pi. And that means the arc length is approximately, so we use the squiggly lines, 11.17. And they didn't give me any units, so I'll just say units. Normally it'll say meters, centimeters, inches, something like that. So this is the answer. This is the length of the arc AB. So the measurements of arc AD is 11.7 units. And since our arc length is not measured in degrees, we cannot write this answer in radians. This is not a radian answer. This is just the answer in terms of pi. All right, so I hope that helped with your challenge problems for this week. If you have any questions, please call me. I have to stay in the house because I have pneumonia, and that means I'm pretty bored. You run out of things to look at on the TV. So if you don't understand, I would love to help you. Just give me a call. All right, bye-bye.